Hey guys, welcome back. So we're going to get started by priming our eyeshadow. I'm using the LA Girl Pro Primer in the shade Nude. I just basically drew it on the lid and then blended it out with my finger. And you want to make sure you set your primer at all times, no matter what primer you're using. I'm just using like this random bone cream eyeshadow from the 35O matte palette. And then going in with this sort of peanut brown color. This is going to act as our transition shade. So we're not going to see this color as much later on because we're layering darker shades on top of it. But this is going to help us blend everything out so you can be as messy as you want. You can get it on the lid. Nothing that you need to worry about. And then we're going to go ahead and layer colors. Just like I said, we're going to take these two orangey shades. And with the same brush, I'm depositing it in the same area where I applied that sort of like peanut brown color. And we're using this to warm up the eye look because we are going in, like I said, with darker colors. So I don't want this look to be too cool tone or anything like that. I still want to add a little bit more warmth. And then I'm going in with this sort of chocolate brown shade. It's a little bit more on the warmer side. I'm just using this to deepen up the crease before I add a black later on, just to kind of map out where I want it to be. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take this pukey greenish brown color. It's a really ugly, gross, like baby puke color. I don't know, but I really love it for all over the lid, and with black it looks so good. So I packed it on all over the lid, and then as you can see, I just went ahead and took that crease brush where I used that brown color, and I just went ahead and buffed any edges out. That way there wasn't any harsh lines. And then taking that big fluffy brush, again just buffing everything out so there's no harsh lines. Going in with the Maybelline Black Gel Liner, I'm just going to go ahead and map out my cat eye. So all I'm doing is creating a line from the lower lash line toward the tail of my brow. And then I'm just going to connect it to my lid. This is pretty much the only way I do my liner. I do kind of have to tug on my eye a little bit. I know it's not good for your skin. It causes wrinkles, I've heard, but whatever. I do it anyway. And then I went ahead and carved out the wing liner just a little bit. And then now we're going to go ahead and go in with any black shade you're using. My favorite one is from the 35F by Morphe. And with the flat definer brush, I'm really defining that outer crease there. Just connecting it from my wing towards this, like, the center of the crease is where I'm stopping, and then taking your pencil brush to buff everything out, and then that shade, like that peanut shade that I use mixed with the orangey shades on a dense brush, and just help to blend that out just to bring some warmth back into the eye look. So again, I'm just blending out the black, what am I saying? I'm blending out the black, and then go ahead and just blend everything out. I'm going in with Flutter lashes in the style Slayla, and then just depositing this on my eye. I started off really good and then later got out of frame, so I skipped this part. And then I'm taking the Elcie Pearl Radiance Primer. This is just going all over my face. It's just a really nice illuminating, moisturizing, smoothing primer. I'm obsessed. And then just for that little extra step, I'm taking the Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer and just focusing this on the center of my cheeks and my nose just to fill any pores that I may have. For foundation, I'm taking the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. This is very full coverage, well, medium to full coverage, but I wanted full coverage today for some reason, so it's a little bit more buildable. So as you can see, I'm just depositing the first layer, and then the second layer, I focus it around my cheek area just so I have a little bit more of like a smooth coverage there. I'm now taking the Becca Under Eye Correcting Primer. This is my favorite, concealer, sorry, not primer. It's my favorite concealer ever. It really color corrects those dark circles. It's the best thing I've ever used. I would definitely recommend it as a purchase for you guys. And then taking the smallest amount of the Ultra HD Concealer by Makeup Forever, I'm using this and applying a very small amount under my eye. I use that little dollop for like the highlighting. So under my eye, the bridge of the nose, forehead, center of the chin, and everything like that, just because a little of this goes a long way. I find that if I use too much, it does tend to crease and get into my fine lines, which I do not like. I'm going to set that with the RCMA No Color Powder just right under my eye with my beauty sponge. I find this is the best way to set my concealer, and it just smooths any lines under my eyes. And then I go ahead and take a little bit around my smile line area and then around my nose area, just because those are usually the areas where I tend to crease a lot, and also my foundation tends to move. Taking the Hoola bronzer by Benefit, I'm using this to contour my cheeks. You guys have seen me do this a million times. If you do want a more in-depth tutorial on how I contour and highlight my face, please let me know. I will definitely do one. For blush, I'm taking the Milani Cosmetics Rose Odoro, I think that's how you say it, and just applying that to my cheeks just for a nice subtle glow. And then taking Gilded Honey by Laura Geller and applying this as my highlight on the very tops of my cheeks, the tip of my nose, my Cupid's bow, and all that good stuff. And then all the colors that I used up in my crease, I'm applying to my lower lash line. So I'm starting off with that sort of peanut color, and then I just build it up with a little bit of those oranges. And then taking a flat definer brush, I'm applying that black eyeshadow. I'm going to smoke it out with a pencil brush. And I did not get a clip of this, but I also filled in my waterline with a Marc Jacobs black eyeliner. It's optional. You can use nude. I just wanted this look to be very smoky. I'm taking that same highlight, the Gilded Honey by Laura Geller, and applying this to my inner tear duct of my eye just to add a little bit more something something. And then for lips, I'm taking this liquid lipstick by Girlactick in the shade Demure. It's a really pretty deep mauve berry shade. You can use a nude, a red, any color will work. And that completes this look, you guys. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel and follow me on all my social media, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!